Hello everyone and welcome back to another reading vlog. So this vlog is kind of going to be focused on the fact that I asked on Instagram a week or so ago now, I think, which books I should pick next for my audiobooks. Because I have 17 credits on Audible right now because I booked like a year in advance sort of subscription with them. I was having a huge faff with they were like cancelling my subscription every 3 months because apparently it was a gift membership, but then I kept ringing them to be like, please uncancel it, you've taken my... It was a whole debacle, honestly. I literally can't even get into it because I'll just get angry. But anyway, I have 17 credits on audiobook, so I have so much to choose from on my wish list, and I asked on Instagram, after taking a couple of screenshots of stuff that I'd added recently, what you think I should read. And I got quite a few responses here, but by far and away the two most popular responses were Blood Over Bright Haven and I Who Have Never Known Men. I actually had a lot of I Who Have Never Known Men. There was so many people who responded with that, so those are the two that I am going to be prioritising for this reading vlog. I Who Have Never Known Men is quite a short book, so that shouldn't take me very long, so I'm probably going to start with that one, download that on Audible now and start listening to that tomorrow on my commute to work, and then after that I will be listening to Blood Over Bright Haven as well, and I will take you with me when I am reading and hopefully finishing both of these. I am super excited. I had been thinking about reading Blood Over Bright Haven physically, but I'm also going to be kind of doing a simultaneous vlog to this in which I read some cozy fantasy books and sort of have a bit of a video essay detailed diatribe on that too. So I don't know which one you're going to see first currently yet, because it depends on which books I finish first, how I manage to pace through them, so we'll see. You will see, I guess. But yes, I am currently just editing a video and it is uploading and exporting as we speak. Tomorrow I am just at the gym and then at work on Friday as well. I don't think I have anything necessarily exciting planned, but I guess I'll just bring you with me on my day to day if I've got nothing else to say or do. But yes, I will keep you very updated on the two books I'm going to read. I might even pick a third. The third in terms of runner-ups were, I had a couple people say Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier, which I am really excited to get to, and I also had a couple people say The Favourite by, is it Lane Fargo, I think? I haven't read their first book, but I am really, really intrigued by it because I think it's like a figure skating drama situation. So yes, I will keep you updated for all of that, whether I decide to read a third book or not. It kind of, like I said, depends on how quickly I get through them. I do think I have some book mail coming though, because I was very naughty the other day for the Waterstones double and triple points, and I might have broke my book buying ban. So you'll probably see that as well. I think it's actually arriving today, so when that arrives, I will do a little unboxing for you. So for now, I will be reading Blood Over Bright Haven and I Who Have Never Known Men. So let me just go, and all my time is off because I've been spending far too much time on my phone today. I will also be swapping over eventually to Libro FM, which I did not realise was available in the UK now, which is excellent. So I'll probably use all my 17 credits on Audible and then eventually, like I said, swap over to Libro FM because I do not want to support Amazon in any way, shape or form. I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. That is being bought with 1 credit. There we go. Success! Let me just give you a little summary of the two books that I am planning to read here. So I Who Have Never Known Men is, I believe, a post-apocalyptic tale in which it centres lots of female friendships and a group of women basically who have been brought up in an underground sort of bunker and they have never known men. Or at least most of them have never known men. I think there might be a couple who have like very distant memories of men, and they're washed over by a select amount of guards and they only have each other, and eventually they will emerge into the light of day and see how the world has changed around them. And I had loads of people reply in the question box that I asked for, being like, oh my god, it was like an instant 5-star, it was so good. So I am really, really excited for this. It's only a 6-hour audiobook as well, so I might even finish it by the end of this week with my commutes. We shall see. And obviously Blood Over Bright Haven. Blood Over Bright Haven. That is by M.L. Wang, who wrote The Sword of Kaigen, which is one of my favourite books of all time, and I am so excited to get to it. I have been meaning to get to it for ages. Like I said, I was supposed to be reading it physically, but honestly I have like an indie paperback copy and it's very heavy and not the most floppy of indie paperbacks either, so I do think this is actually going to be the best way to do it. So yes, I am going to download that now. Let me just buy with 1 credit, confirm, success. So So Blood Over Bright Haven is the second book by M.L. Wong. It's sort of like a dark academia fantasy story, which I believe delves into and follows a very misogynistic society and a woman within it who has been the only woman to be accepted onto this university course at this prestigious sort of magic school situation. And she's given an assistant who is from one of the... Oh, my computer just went off. Let me just get that screen back on so I can get that nice lighting. That's better. And she has an assistant that is from one of the lower classes who I believe it's kind of like a walled city situation, kind of similar to the Titanic Cup, and there is like a blight on the outside of the wall, and he had just escaped from this blight and got into the city, and I think all of his family gets killed at the very first chapter or something like that. And they are paired together, and between them they uncover the secrets of this society and of this university and of what they're actually studying. I'm extremely excited for that too because I have only heard amazing things and I have put it off far too long as is. So yes, follow this vlog if you want to see my thoughts on either of these. Like I said, I'll probably be starting with I Who Have Never Known Men first and then jump straight into Blood Over Bright Haven next. I'm so excited for both these books. I honestly think these both might be 5 stars, so fingers crossed. I feel like this is the exact same angle that I just used before, but all of my bits and bobs arrived. I actually got so furiously excited that I just like tore into everything and then totally forgot to film the actual unboxing of them, so sorry about that, but we're here to do a little mini haul of all the little bits and bobs that I purchased on the Waterstones Point Stamps Day. Oh, I was so terrible with that. But I also got a little package from the Broken Binding as well, which I will show you what was in that in just a second. So I'm going to put this down, so if I suddenly become really quiet, that's why. Here is the little stack of books that arrived today. Ooh, look at them all! I am so excited. I am so excited for every single one of these, but let's go through them. So first up, I got To Be Taught If Fortunate, which is a little novella by Becky Chambers, and this is like a cozy sci-fi, and I'm actually going to be reading this soon for a cozy fantasy vlog sort of video diary-ish situation that I'm doing, which I think this discusses sort of like existential things about how when the human race goes off to terraform different planets, how it might actually involve terraforming themselves and changing themselves in certain ways. So I'm very excited for this one. The next is the newest book by I cannot pronounce his name, I'm so sorry, by Amal El-Mohtar, and this is the author of This Is How They Lose the Time War. I am also really excited for this. It is a novella again, so again, I don't want to read into it too much because there's only so much that can be spoiled. And this is actually like a fae-scented novella, I'm pretty sure, and I believe it's going to be whimsical, quite interesting. It is blurbed by T. Kingfisher as well, so that's the kind of vibes I'm getting from this one. Again, I don't want to read the synopsis because, especially with a novella, like there's only so much it can tell you, and I just don't want to be spoiled for anything. Next up is something really exciting, and that is Green Teeth here by Molly O'Neill, which is a debut, and this is also blurbed by T. Kingfisher, so again, I'm feeling similar vibes. This is really strange actually, because me and my partner have this silly made-up creature called Ginny Bogweed, who we always joke like lives in the local forest in a bog, and will, if you walk past too close, she'll like grab your ankles and pull you in. I don't know where Jenny Bogweed came from, we've just made her up in our heads, and this is literally called Jenny Green Teeth, and like I just feel like that's so similar, and she lives in a bog. Jenny Bogweed, Jenny Green Teeth, one and the same. But I am super excited for this one. I believe, like I said, it follows a monster in a bog who perhaps eventually falls in love or has to go on some sort of adventure with a human. So yes, very, very excited for this one, and look at this cover. Honestly, all the covers in this haul are stunning. Next up is Foxglove by Adeline Grace. This is the second book in the Belladonna series by her. I read the first one last year, the very end of last year I think, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't love it, so I was hesitant to continue for a little while, but I keep sitting on it and I keep thinking about it, and I do want to continue. And it's a really interesting story that follows a girl who can see death, and she is considered to be cursed by a lot of her family, but she's also quite rich, like she has a lot of inheritance with her. She's an orphan, so she kind of gets passed around between the family, and they all want to have her for this inheritance just in case, but she is a cursed person and ends up, like, you know, like I said, death follows her around, and death do be causing death, you know? So yes, it was really interesting, and it's actually also a bit of a fantasy romance situation there, and a little bit of a mystery too. It is YA, but kind of borders into new adult, but they also have gorgeous covers, and I am super excited to continue now. I've been, like I said, I've been sitting on it for a while, and I do think now is the time to kind of continue with this. And the final book that I bought in the Waterstones Points thing was Someone You Can Build a Nest In. Now, again, stunning cover. This really gives like cozy fantasy vibes from the cover, but I've actually heard that this is a horror. I am, again, not 100% sure. It is quite skinny again, so I don't want to read too heavily into the synopsis. So the blurb starts with Sheshishen has made a fatal mistake for a monster. She's fallen in love. So I'm assuming our main character is a monster and it follows some sort of romantic plotline. I have heard that it kind of delves a little bit deeper, and I'm wondering whether it's going to kind of go into sort of like the toxic side of romance and stuff like that, with it being, like I said, slightly horror leaning. The US cover looks entirely different for this. I'll put like a photo of it here if I can, because like the vibes are very off between these two. So yes, they were all the books that I got in the Waterstones double points situation. I now have like £60 to spend on my account, so I'm like ready for that. I like to give myself little treats every now and again when I pop in, but I am trying to, like I said, not buy any books this year. So the little treats I will be getting myself and allowing myself will be stuff that I have really wanted to continue, perhaps. So yes, I'm trying to be better. Not currently doing very well. I pretty much hold almost the exact same amount of books as I've read. So that's fun. And finally, the other book. This is one that I pre-ordered from the Broken Binding, and this is The Dark Mirror by Samantha Shannon. Oh, this is so gorgeous and so shiny. Look at these. I'm so glad that they redesigned the covers, because I hated the old covers so much. They were so ugly. Look at this sprayed edge. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. This series is the Bone Season series, and this is the 5th book in that. Obviously, I can't tell you too much about what this one's going to be about, but the first in the series follows Paige Mahoney, and she is like a clairvoyant. It's a really interesting combination of sort of urban fantasy, a bit of sci-fi in there, a little bit of paranormal, sort of witchcrafty vibes as well. Like clairvoyancy is like a main theme in this, and honestly, it is absolutely fantastic. I love this series. The last book ended on such a cliffhanger. I feel like it changed the entire perspective of the series, so really excited to see what this brings. And I have all the Broken Binding matching editions too, because these are just chef's kiss. I love them so much. This was my very naughty haul. I'm sorry that I did not unbox them properly for you, but hopefully I will actually remember to do that in the future, because I am an idiot apparently. Hello friends, I just got back in from work. Please excuse my fringe. It's done the thing where I like slept on it and it's kind of parted in a really horrible way. Whatever, but I have another package that has arrived from Waterstones, and I'm assuming this is a different pre-order? Maybe? Because I have received everything that was in the order that I did the other day, so this must be a pre-order that's come in. So let us unbox. Let's see what we've got inside. I don't actually know what it could be. Oh, okay. I didn't know this came out so soon. Hello, Odie. Hello, Odimus. Oh, careful, 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 careful. Sorry, his tail is whacking everywhere. Sit. Sit. Odie, sit. Good boy, good boy. Who's so clever? Anyway, this is the Fable at the End of the World, which is the new Ava Reid release. I love Ava Reid so much. I think she handles femininity, what it is to be a woman, women's trauma, female trauma in general, with such care and such grace, but also such like anger and malice and revenge at its core. Like, she really does the female rage trope in a way that I think leaves so much to still be explored beyond her narrative. Like, she doesn't just say stuff directly on the page. She very much lets you ruminate on it, and some people do criticise her because they think that she only writes female trauma and she doesn't write, but I think you are supposed to look beyond that, if that makes sense. Like, she's not writing about like, you know, oh, I'm so happy now because I have realised that I have had that female trauma. Like, that's not what she does. She's much more subtle in her messaging, and just the way she handles all the topics that she discusses in them, I just have really, really admired so far. I've loved all of her books, especially Juniper and Thorn. That's probably my favourite of hers so far. And this is A Fable at the End of the World, which is actually a post-apocalyptic story, I think, maybe a dystopian-ish vibe, and gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Let's have a little look-see as to the... I mean, so it starts here by saying, by encouraging massive... I'm getting licked on the head. By encouraging massive accumulations of debt, a single corporation, Keras, controls all aspects of society. So by the sounds of it, they live in a world where pretty much everything, all the towns, all the people are controlled by one single sort of corporate entity. So similar to the weird conglomerations we're kind of seeing in today's society with all the businesses such as like Amazon, Disney, etc. And yeah, and apparently they're living in like a half sunken town. It seems quite like dank and musty in its vibes. Again, I've said this before, but I don't like to read too much into synopsis because I like to just be like inundated entirely in the world without really knowing anything too much beforehand. So I can give you like a very, very general synopsis, but based on the vibes of the cover, and honestly, I saw Ava Reid and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read that. She is like an auto-buy author for me, so I am very excited to get to this one. Fringe. Ugh. I really, really, really need a proper haircut. It's really getting past the point of no return at this point. But I'm also going to pop on here to talk to you a little bit about I Who Have Never Known Men. So I started this morning and I think I only have about an hour left of the audiobook. The speed at which I listened to the audiobook, I think it was only 2.5 hours anyway, and I sat in traffic for quite a long time on the way home. So yeah, I think I've only got about an hour left of the audiobook, and I am fascinated by this book. It is so introspective, it is so unique. We're basically following a young girl who has grown up her entire life in an underground cage with 40 other women. It's basically like a bunker, and all she knows are like 3 men who are guards who just walk around and occasionally like threaten to whip them if they like do anything untoward, until one day the circumstances change and they are able to discover more about their situation and what's happened to the world and where they are. And it's just so unusual, and it's so poignant, and it really makes you think. Like, the main character is discovering thinking because she hasn't necessarily been educated. She is the only one of them who cannot remember anything from before because she was taken into this place as a child. And it's like she is experiencing not only the world, but also like what it is to be human in many ways through the lens of these other women. And obviously these other women are discussing things that they can remember, that they've seen, that they've done, and all these, even just like words like a cupboard, like she doesn't know what that is because she's never had that experience outside of that. So I think kind of similar to like The Room. I can't remember who that author's by, but the film with, is it the one who plays Captain Marvel? I can't remember what her name is. And the character is so interesting as well because she's very intelligent, but obviously has never had anything to sort of nurture that. And because of the like way she's been raised, and I think a lot of the women have kept quite clear of her because they've maybe reminded them of like their daughters that they no longer have with them and stuff like that. She's almost raised quite... She's like slightly psychopathic or like sociopathic. Like she doesn't understand the need for intimacy or connection and things like that. But she is learning, and she like knows it inherently in herself. Like she can feel these things, but she doesn't like think about it. She doesn't understand why women pair off and sleep together at night, for example. She doesn't understand that. Look at these little teeth. Look at those teeth. I know, I'll play with you in a minute. Yes, I am really, really enjoying it, needless to say. I was recommended this by so many of you, and yeah, it is not disappointing. It is not disappointing so far. I don't know at this point whether it's going to be a 5-star, like it might be. I'm really curious to see where it goes, because at the moment it doesn't seem like it's actually going anywhere, and that it is very much just a sort of introspective think piece almost of just like what women can achieve and do together, and what a society would be like where we are given nothing, we are not intervened with. Like, it's really, really interesting. It's really interesting. And I also just don't know whether it's got like a slight sort of sci-fi twist to it. I'm not sure yet because I haven't finished, but part of me is tempted to actually just finish it tonight and just blast it all done on one day, or I don't know whether I should wait till tomorrow and read it on my commute to work. Can't quite decide. I think I'm going to have a bath tonight though, and then get very cozy, get nice and snug, and you're not going to see it in this vlog, but for my other vlog, I will be snuggling up with the Spell Shop physically too, which I'm also very much enjoying. But for now, I will leave you with the fact that I am really, really enjoying I Who Have Never Known Men, and it's definitely something that I would recommend to a lot of people, especially if you like sort of women's fiction, female rage, just like a very introspective, reflective novels. It's excellently written. The prose are really beautiful as well. There's been a couple of lines where I've just been sitting there like, oh man, if only I could write like that. And just like following this character, seeing the stars for the first time and things like that, it is really, really interesting. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I am very thankful that this was recommended to me on these audiobooks, because the audiobook is also really good. But yes, I will catch you up later. Bridge is up. Meow. Hello friends, I have been diabolical. I've spent so much money today. I obviously have spoken before about me being on like a buying ban for this year for the most part, but today I broke that. I broke that severely. But in fairness, most of the money was spent on my business account because it's for my studio for the most part. I will show you in a second what I'm talking about, but I spent so much money. I got so many things. I did not intend to go out today and spend money, and here we are. I'm going to show you a little haul though. So, first things first, we went to Waterstones. Most of these are not for me, so bear that in mind. Most of these are for my partner, and I'm going to show you what he got anyway, because I got the points for it, so that's what matters really. Parable of the Fates. I recommended him read this after I read it, and he really, really enjoyed it, so he's went out and got the second one. I also got I Who Have Never Known Men. I keep saying he got. I recommended it to him. He's going to read it next as well. And other two books, he got The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. This is kind of like a joint one because I think we'll both try and read this at some point. But I have always wanted to read an Ursula K. Le Guin. I recently picked up another novella by her, and I was very excited for this one too. So hopefully I'll like her writing. Either way, it's kind of both of our streets, I think. And finally, this one is for me. I got The Butcher of the Woods, and I mean, look at this. Look at this cover. It is just like a little novella, but I don't know. This absolutely called to me. As you can imagine, I've heard good things about it. I'm very excited to get to this one. So they were the 4 little books that we collectively got, mainly for him. Like I said, at least 3 of them are more his reads, but this little Butcher of the Woods here, that is mine, and I shouldn't have. But I did. I've been naughty. I actually will be reading Parable of the Towns as well, but I will be listening to the audiobook rather than the physical book. And yeah, like I said, I will definitely be reading these at some point. And I've already read I Have Never Known Men and absolutely loved it recently. So, have I even told you about that? I don't even think I've told you about that yet. This is literally the vlog that I'm doing that in, and I haven't spoken to you about it yet. I will update you on I Who Have Never Known Men because I finished it yesterday and I am obsessed. Anyway, onto the other things that I've hauled. I will update you about this afterwards. Again, we go into these shops with my partner and then I end up coming out with stuff and I'm like, why? I went in for nothing. We went into a male-only vintage shop and I came out with 2 things. First of which, actually 3 things. First of which being this bandana. So it's like a headscarf, but it's like butterflies. I'm obsessed. I'm going to try and put it in right now so you can see the vibes. I do like to wear like a little bandana in the summertime because I get quite greasy hair and I can wear it on the day off, but you know, and then I pull all the hair down the front. Give me a second here. I haven't really sorted out the back of this properly yet, but usually I like tie it up as well, but it's so cute. It's so cute. Very cottagecore. I'm obsessed. I need to take this off because my fringe is just not cooperating today, but very excited to wear this in summer. I saw this and it was reduced from £40 to £20. Bear in mind this is vintage as well, both of these are second hand, so at least I'm not buying first hand again, but I just saw this and it's so 70s. I know it's coming up to summer as well, so really not the best time of year to purchase this, but I saw this, very 70s. It's like a shearling sort of suede brown jacket and I just put it on and as soon as I put my first arm through this sleeve, I was like, okay, this fits me perfectly. This is gonna have to come home with me. So let me just show you this. There we go. It just like, I mean, look at this. It fits me so perfectly. What the heck? What the heck? Yeah, and this is just very me vibes. I think I'd probably wear like tighter pants with it though, but I just like, I don't know, I put it on and immediately it was just like, yeah, this is cool. This is sick. Very cozy, very comfy vibes. So yes, I'm very pleased with this. And they had this, we walked in and it was smelling really, really nice in there. And they had this, it's called like red cedar incense that was on offer. And it basically makes you smell like your house smell like a woodland cabin with like a nice wood stove burning. And it was so good. Yeah, so I had to pick those up as well. They were like £6, so we got that for the house. And you may be thinking, Rachel, none of this is like a studio expense. None of this would class as a studio expense. This is where the actual money spending came into it. So let me actually take you to the purchases now. First one, you can see here, I got these engraved wood panels. I don't know whether you can see the details on them, but they are absolutely gorgeous. I love the daffodils at the bottom, and you can kind of put them together or separate. These are going to stay in the house, and we're going to probably... Well, I say they're going to stay in the house. I might take them to the studio, we're unsure yet, but they look so good against our green wall that we have downstairs, and it's just so pretty. I love these. But the other purchase, this was the major expense. I found these 4 Seasons for this Art Nouveau artist that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and they are like vintage paintings. I will probably have to get them reframed, but we've got spring here, and we've got summer, and we got autumn, girl, you look at her, and winter. Oh, she's so beautiful. And yeah, look at them. Oh, I'm so pleased. These will probably be going in my studio because they fit the vibes perfectly, but look at them. I really need to get them reframed because they're currently in silver, and I just feel like gold will absolutely slap with these. Like, who put them in silver? Who looked at these and thought, yeah, silver's going to be good? Oh, man, I'm obsessed. So this was a lot of money, but I saw them and I was like, unfortunately, they must come home with me. Just like, look at the detail on these. She's so stunning. I really want to take my art in this kind of direction as well for my tattooing, so these will be very inspirational to have up in the studio, I think. Oh, I'm just obsessed. So yes, this was the big major studio purchase. Lots of art purchases today, but I'm very pleased because these are all secondhand as well. I didn't just order them from like a print shop on Etsy. They are absolutely beautiful. Don't know whether you can quite see, but they're like got printed on canvas, so they're nice and textured too. Oh, they're just so pretty. I'm very pleased, and also extremely pleased with my little wood boards as well. I'm always buying for like a future house that I don't currently have yet, so when I do have my future period property, it's going to be an eclectic, wonderful, atmospheric vibe, and I'm so excited for the day when that happens. Whether that's anytime soon is a different question entirely. Hi guys, it is a few days later, and I'm finally here to bring you a review of I Who Have Never Known Men. This, you can see, is the physical copy. My partner is currently about to start it tonight because I insisted he read it afterwards because I loved it that much and just need someone to talk to about it. It's time to talk about it. I really needed a few days to sit on this book because, oh man, I just feel like am I intelligent enough to actually review this? Probably not. This was so fascinating from start to finish. You are left with so many questions. If you don't like an open-ended book, would not recommend at all. But for me, just the speculation of this, and not only that, but the introspection and the reflection on just humanity, what it means to be a woman, what it means to be alive even. Like, so much of this was written in a way that I'd just never experienced before. Like, I've read a lot of books that have these topics of conversation and these themes and these narratives, but the way this was told and the circumstance with which the main character was put in and the way she tells the narrative and the entire building of her character, with her being, she's such a unique voice to be inside the head of, because she has never known men, she has never known an ordinary world, she's only ever known this circumstance and situation that she has been put into, and that you are reading it from, and that you are discovering with her, and it's just absolutely fascinating, and she's so intelligent as well, this character, both this character and this author, clearly, that you can't help but like sit and just think about all of her potential that she would have had in an ordinary world and in ordinary circumstances, and like how she helps and changes these women, but the futility of it all at the same time. It is so difficult to talk about. It is very short, so I really am loath to say anything just in case I spoil it for someone, for people who are considering reading, but needless to say, this was 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for the recommendation, guys, because this absolutely slapped. So many people have also said that I need to read Our Wives Under the Sea after this, so I think that will probably be next up, or at least up very soon for me, but I just keep sighing, like, because there's so much, but also so little to say about this. I don't know how to describe it. I feel like if you've read it, you'll know what I'm talking about, where it's just like, I keep saying, I feel like that gif that I always see of Willem Dafoe, where he's just like, that was me, like, listening to the audiobook of this in the bath, like, lying there, just, it was specifically the scene with Laura, where that section of the book finishes. If you've read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was just like, oh, Oh, like, it was so painful. I found myself almost in tears at some parts. It was so raw. It was so eloquently written. Like, the actual writing style as well was really engrossing. It wasn't necessarily flowery or purple, I wouldn't say, but it also wasn't super dry. Like, I feel like there was like a lyricalness about it. I don't know, it almost had like a cadence, and maybe it's because it was actually originally translated from French, but it had just sort of like, I don't know, just like certain lines I would just be like, wow. But then also the main character that you're following is so blunt, and so she doesn't quite lack empathy, but she lacks typical social interaction and like typical social upbringing. So she is a bit more like, she's a bit more harsh. She's both more surface level and so much deeper than any of the surrounding characters, because she has so much time to think and she really prioritizes thinking in this situation. But then, like I said, she also hasn't had all these real world experiences, so she's almost like a blank canvas in many ways. It's just so fascinating. It's such an interesting character study. It's such an interesting look at womanhood, like I said, and what it means for that. And guys, if you haven't read this yet, I would definitely pick it up. I don't think this is for everyone, to be fair. I can see some people, picking this up and finding a lot of flaws with certain parts of it, and maybe finding it a little bit too, depressing towards the end. But if you do like a book that is going to just make you kind of sit there and just contemplate your own existence for a little bit, and then like really feel raw and achingly, painfully bad for people who don't even exist, maybe this book will be for you. And like I said, it actually took me a couple of days to sit on this with this rating. I have settled on 5 stars, but there was a part where I was like, oh, like, will it be? But like, yes, like, I can't stop thinking about it. All I want to do is talk about it. Like, so good. So good, so good. I need to read more books like this, please. If you have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments, because I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this. I really, really, really enjoyed this. If enjoy is the correct term, it's the right word for it. I've just been having a couple of like quite rough days. I've been so tired. I've been just really like in a rotting phone hole. Like, I've not done basically any physical reading, which is really... What is my fringe doing right now? I'm sorry, I can see myself in the viewfinder just like, ugh. It's gross. Anyway, yeah, I've just had just a bit of a rough time of it in the past couple of days. I've just been really like weepy and just down and just not feeling very good, to be honest. And I thought I'd be honest with you, because I really wanted to try and get more videos made and more videos put up. I just have not been wanting to even look at a camera or edit a vlog or do any additional sort of work. So yeah, it's been a bit rough, but I've got a couple of lovely clients in over the next couple of days, some full day sessions. I'm really, really excited for that. I'm doing a dragon tomorrow with like lots of mushrooms and botanical bits, so maybe I'll take you along for that. But oh, in brighter news though, I am not a football girly, just to state that. I am not a football girly at all. However, I am a Geordie to my core, born in the RBI, raised in Newcastle. The North is my home, and Newcastle have just won their first championship. Like, yeah, I've never watched football. We literally tuned in for the last 5 minutes of the match, and I was like, I only tuned in because they were winning, and I was like, okay, I gotta be here for this historic moment if they're actually gonna win. As soon as I turned it on, Liverpool actually scored, which was really funny. But anyway, Newcastle won, and I just know the mood in Newcastle is gonna be like up here for the next however long. And honestly, I love Newcastle. If you've not been to Newcastle and you're from the UK, it's a great city, man. Like, I feel like you do need to know the right places. Obviously, it's the same with any city, but we are so friendly up here, I swear to God. Like, I have been to so many other cities in the UK, and just nothing compares. And I know that might be a little bit biased of me, but Newcastle and Edinburgh, my two favourite places in the UK. Like, the North is where it's at, and that's all I'm saying. Sorry, any southern people, like, but yeah, Newcastle and Edinburgh, they slap. Glasgow's pretty good as well. I'll give Glasgow that, but anyway, so that is something to be proud about, at least. But I am going to do a little bit of reading now. Thomas is finishing Killers of the Flower Moon downstairs. We started yesterday. It's 3.5 hours long, that film. 3.5 hours. In what world? Like, I understand if you have, like, Return of the King, epic fantasy, you've got a whole world to establish, you've got whole battles, like, it's an epic. This is not an epic. It does not need to be that long. And also, like, it's just all over the place, that film. Like, I find the story really fascinating, and it's really, like, horrifying at the same time. But I'm like, why is it this long? It does not need to be this long. Like, This could have been condensed so much while still retaining all of the emotional impact of the horrific circumstances that arose in this story. Like, because it's like based on true events. But anyway, besides that, I'm going to do a little bit of reading, maybe get like half an hour's reading in. Then I'm going to start Blood Over Brighthaven tomorrow on audiobook, so I will definitely give you an update when I have one on that. I am so excited, but I'm so scared because I know what she does to me. I know what she does to me. Hello friends, it has been a few days since I've updated you. I have just not been doing very well for the past week. I feel like I've just been so overwhelmed and just really burnt out and tired for no reason either. Like, I don't know, I've just not been feeling too good. And I honestly can't even remember whether I've updated you on my final thoughts of Leave the World Behind. It's not even Leave the World Behind. What the heck am I talking about? Didn't I? I think so. I hope so, because I'm about to come with you for an update on Blood Over Brighthaven. I have been listening to the audiobook. I started the other day, and I think I'm about like 30-40% in, and I have theories. I am really enjoying it so far, as expected. It's ML Wang. What else could I really be doing with this book? But I am really enjoying it so far, like I said. And obviously the main character has a lot of flaws. She's a highly driven person, which I can relate to in some ways, but she will very much throw anyone under the bus if required. And she does not care. If you are not interesting, she's just like, I don't know who you are. She's an absolute roaster, but she kind of has to be because women in this society are extremely neglected in terms of their intellect and intelligence. They're very put down. It's very misogynist, basically. And she has to fight 10 times as hard for any opportunity that a man would, just walk into effectively. So I do kind of get why she's like that. And it's so frustrating for me, though, because in this society, there are also an underclass of citizen who are, the sort of natives to the outside world, outside of the city, who are kind of used as forced or really cheap labour. And she will be saying stuff like, I can't believe I'm in this academic institution and with the smartest people in the world, and they still can't, see past the fact that I'm a woman and recognise me for my intelligence and XYZ. But then she's treating this underclass citizen who is her assistant with the same sort of looking down upon and snobbery, and it's just girl, wake up. Can you not see what you're doing yourself? Do you not understand how this can also apply to you? Oh my gosh, it is quite frustrating to read from her perspective at times, but also quite enjoyable in a weird way. I really enjoy being inside a passionate, driven, sort of single-minded person. I think when it's written well, it can be really, really effective in pulling you through the story, which I feel like it's doing currently. She's facing a lot of hard truths, so she is definitely going to be going through it. And this is a little spoiler section here, so I'll put a little spoiler note here, but I have a theory that they can only siphon magic from this certain area, and I think it's either because that area is the city, and it's either in the future, which is why the world's getting worse and worse and worse, or in the present, and them siphoning the magic is actually them that's the blight. That is them killing people outside. I think that's what they're doing when they're they see these fuzzy grey orbs or whatever. They're actually just people that they can see, and that's what they're targeting, but they don't know that they're doing that. That's my theory currently. So if I'm proved right, I am going to feel extremely jammy, because I think that's kind of what she's working towards, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, spoilers over. Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it, and I will give you another update very soon because I am flying through this audiobook. I am absolutely loving it, and I will be probably going out today and listening to a little bit more. So yes, I will keep you updated when that happens. Okay, it's literally I don't know, half an hour later or something, and I've just made myself some lunch whilst listening to the audiobook, and I was so right. For the spoiler section before, I was so right. I'm feeling very jammy. I'm feeling super smart right now. I never predict stuff like this. I feel like I'm just always vibing, you know what I mean? I like to be surprised by books, so I don't actually tend to recognize stuff very often, if that makes sense. I like to let the plot twist me. So to have predicted that and to have come to that conclusion, I kind of went crazy with that. Maybe it was really obvious. I don't know. But yes, I was very right about my prediction. Hee hee. I have just received a very exciting parcel through the post. You might be able to see from the edges, but it is the Broken Binding. And I ordered these ages ago, like last year, early last year, maybe, I can't even remember. But what we have in here, I think, if I'm correct, this is the first 3 books in the Malazan Book of the Fallen. So let's unbox. I'm very excited to see these because I think they were like delayed for a little while. I think like the pages were too thin or something like that. So it's been a while since I ordered these, but let us open this up. The thing I will always say about the Broken Binding is that they pack stuff very well, but like I cannot get in. I really struggle. Usually I have to get Thomas to like rip it apart. Also, how dumb am I? I've literally just realised that it says Malazan Book of the Fallen on the box. Like, girl, I'm tired. I've been at work all day. Oh, okay. Oh, so the first thing I'm seeing is a really cool sort of map situation. Yeah, it's actually like multiple maps because I think I actually haven't read Malazan yet, but it's one of those books that, again, I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, I'm gonna like, hopefully more than Wheel of Time. I'm pretty sure it takes place across like thousands and thousands of years and across like multiple different like places within this world. So I'm assuming each one of these related to like a different book maybe, but excited for this. I love a good map. Again, like I said, Broken Binding go like absolutely insane with their packaging. Like, oh my gosh. Bubble wrap, man. Look at this bubble wrap. Here they are. Ooh. It's a hefty. They're hefty. They're hefty. Let me just put you further away. I'm gonna actually sit down as well because I feel like I'm just like lurking. My back's getting sore. Let us review. I always keep these ribbons as well because I like to use them at Christmas for my wrapping. So put that there. Ooh. So excited. I'm not sure which order I'm opening these in, but I'm assuming the skinniest one's going to be the first one. We got hope. Oh, just seeing a gorgeous sprayed edge. Yes, so here is the first book in the series, Gardens of the Moon. Look at it. Look at the sprayed edge. The artwork on this is absolutely stunning. And they're signed as well. I don't know whether it's just the first one that's signed, whether they're all going to be signed. But, look at the artwork in that. The under the dust jacket art is kind of crazy. It's like a really lovely texture as well. It's almost like canvas-y, but like a hard canvas. You know, if you're an artist, I think you'll know what I mean, but it's not like a soft canvas, it's like a hard canvas, like a crisscross hatched sort of situation. Oh, that is gorgeous. So gorgeous. Oh, kind of obsessed. I know there's like a booktuber, is he called like Petra Cleo, I think? He like consulted on the art for this and like, wow. I don't know who the actual artist is, but like they've went a bit crazy with that. I have no idea what it's actually depicting, but I'm excited to find out. Get the second one here. Yes, the second one, Dead House Gates. Again, look at this. Look, I'm assuming when you put all these together that they might line up eventually. Like, are they gonna line up? Yes, I think so. Oh, that's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. I don't know whether that's gonna be a lineup over the first 3 or like all 7. Oh, I don't know who this is, but Slay Queen. Things we love to see. Let's see the under the jacket here. Oh, mysterious. That is giving Minds of Moria, to be honest. But obsessed. Is it signed as well? Yeah, so this one's signed too. So I'm assuming they're all going to be signed. It's exciting for me. And finally, the third one here. Memories of Ice. Again, this is a hefty beast. This is a chunky boy. But look at that sprayed edge again. These are gonna look so good together. Are they like? Tell me they don't look like Velociraptors. Like, I don't know what they're supposed to be, but like I'm like blue. Is that you? Oh my god, with like a little helmet on. Ooh, I don't know what scene this is gonna be, but it looks dramatic. And let's see the under dust. Oh, wow. I love like a polar setting, and a lot of these, like a lot of the artworks on this are looking very cold. They're looking chilly, and that is extremely intriguing to me. I am going to try and at least read the first one before the sale of the second set come out, so that if I actually don't end up liking them, which fingers crossed I won't, and I know that I have to give more than just Gardens of the Moon a go, because I think it's one of those series that builds on itself really, really well. But if I don't end up liking it, if I like really hate it for whatever reason, I can pass these on to someone who will really love them, who will be able to get the second set. But hopefully that's not the case, and that these can remain in my collection forevermore. But let's just put these together. I don't know whether I'm putting these together in the right order, but can you see that? Is that making a picture? Ooh. Stunning. But yes, that is my little unboxing of the day. I am so excited. I waited so long for these, so bloody long. I'm pretty sure it's been like 8-9 months or something at least. But yes, very excited to have these. I also have a little mini update on Blood Over Bright Haven. I am still really, really loving it. I think it's a little bit more on the nose with its themes, perhaps, than Sword of Kaigan was, at least maybe from what I remember of Sword of Kaigan, because I actually did read it quite a while ago now, so maybe I need to revisit, but I am still obsessed. And honestly, I think it needs to be in a lot of cases, because like the topics it's discussing, like there is no room for interpretation. These people and this society are awful. They are like so truly awful, and it's really interesting, and I always find it really compelling when we read from a perspective of someone who is like so ingrained and indoctrinated into this society, and seeing how they wrestle and tackle like the denial of realizing that actually the entire world, like all of their perception of their reality is based on lies or misinformation or horrific truths. And it's been really, really fascinating watching the main character go through that. Oh, Thomas has just come in. He has a KFC, so I'm going to end this here. I will see you soon. Man brought the goods. So it is a few days later. It is an absolutely glorious spring day. I've actually done a little bit of gardening today. Me and my partner have found that there's like a really boggy, like poorly drained patch of our garden that kind of like runs along the edge of where we've got some turf. So I just wanted to get some plants in there instead, because when the dog does zoomies in the garden, he will like tear up the ground there. So I'm hoping that these will both like soak up a little bit of excess moisture in the soil and also just like, you know, actually look nice. They're gonna be, I think it's a type of hydrangea, and they should bloom like white, pink, and like a dark, like pinky, almost reddy colour towards the autumn. So I'm very excited for that. But I am here to actually close out this vlog and update you on Blood Over Bright Haven, which I did finish, I think yesterday or the day before. I'm actually like halfway through Sunrise of the Reaping right now, and I'm screaming, crying, throwing up, but that is a whole different scenario. That is a whole different book. Anyway, Blood Over Bright Haven was exactly as excellent as I expected it to be. You know, having read Sword of Kaigan and being familiar with her work, I really did not expect anything less from M.L. Wang, to be honest. And her world building was as excellent as ever. Her, like, the complexity of her characters and the depth with which she both addresses and makes them their characters themselves like confront their own sort of personal demons or grievances, or even like, you know, their own flaws in so many ways, is really incredible. Like, she does such a good job of creating extraordinarily complex characters who you both can't help but hate and root for at the same time. I think the female main character in this was especially interesting because she is very much the perspective of the standard sort of, you know, oppressing class that we have in this world, but she is also a woman, so in this world it is very misogynist as well, so she can very much comprehend injustices that happen to her directly as a woman, but she can't comprehend the injustices that, you know, the Quen might face in this, which is the other race of people who are oppressed. And it's just so interesting to see her like start to grapple with that and start to realise that actually the Quen are people, and a lot of this propaganda and the religious texts that are, you know, really so thoroughly interwoven with their government and their policies and the way they like operate as a society is basically all moot. The boy is going crazy. He's just brought me a big ball. I can't play with you right now, little boy. Anyway, but yes, the complexities of that were really, really interesting to follow and really, really interesting to watch her grapple with. And ultimately, I think her character story and her character journey was a really, really well-rounded and well-refined arc. I really, really loved Tommel as well. I thought he was a great character, although I'm just gonna kick the ball for the dog. Yeah, there he goes. I thought Tommel was also a really excellent character, and again, watching him kind of battle with trying to preserve his culture, but also trying to preserve his own life, because obviously the two really in this society can't exist or coexist together anymore because of the oppression and like what the ruling class of mages and what's the actual term for them? They have a proper term. It's like the name of the city. I'm so bad with names. Has a niece, and they are pretty much the entire remaining entities of their clan, and he wants to do his best to protect his niece and make sure she's safe and raise her in a way that isn't gonna, potentially endanger her in any way. But she is so strong and fiery and such an interesting character as well, and she's so young, and he does not want to squash that in her either, because that is very much like the remnants of his tribe, the remnants of his culture. And also like really just push back on everything the female main character might say or might think. Like, he was such a strong force for contemplation with her, and she was a really sort of empathetic view for him on the oppressing class, because it showed that people given the right circumstances and the right information, they are capable of change ultimately, even if it might take a long time, even if they go kicking and screaming and fighting. There is hope at the end of the day. And the ultimate message, when it comes down to it, is that sometimes it does take a bit of violence to actually make any real change, and sometimes the entire system needs to be overthrown and overruled and overwrought to actually make any sort of meaningful difference, and even start making a meaningful difference. So yeah, overall, fantastic book. Don't think I quite liked it as much as Blood Over Brighthaven. I think I give it 4.5 stars overall, mainly just because I think some of the messaging was very on the nose. However, I also really loved the way that she would take the message to be very on the nose, and I'll be like, okay, but then she would expand on it and expand on it and expand on it in ways that I hadn't considered, ways that the reader wouldn't have considered, and the ways the characters hadn't considered. Like, she did go that extra mile, which I really appreciated, but I also did feel in some areas a little bit spoon-fed. But that is everything. These are the two books that I was recommended to read by you on Instagram, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to recommend me more books to read and more videos, please let me know in the comments down below. Did you enjoy these books as well? Have you read them? Let me know your thoughts, and please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye guys!